Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unleashed with me, Scarlett Johnson, presented by Moms for Liberty. And today I'm joined by Scott Coburn, the CMO of Patriot Mobile. So thanks for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having me on, Scarlett. I just love what you guys are doing. And look, anytime I can get a chance to get on and tell a little bit about what Patriot Mobile's doing to defend our freedoms, I'm more than happy to join. So thank you for having me.
Thanks. Well, so your CEO, Glenn Story, always says he didn't just build a company. He built something people can participate in every month if they care about faith, family, and freedom. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Patriot Mobile and why this company is different?
Yeah, so we are definitely different. And here's the deal. Yes, we are a great cell phone service provider. We have nationwide coverage on all three of the major networks here in the United States. We have 100% US-based customer support. We sell all the latest and greatest devices. We're a great cell phone company, but here's the deal, Scarlett. The truth is our mission has nothing at all to do with cell phones. And it has everything to do with defending freedom and doing it in a way that would glorify God. Now, how different is that, right? I mean, we are definitely different in that. And look, we're just, like Glenn said in many times, we're just trying to provide an alternative to people that want to support a company that exists to glorify God and that is doing everything they can to support organizations that are on the front lines fighting for our freedoms.
Well, if we were watching the NFL Super Bowl, we were provided an alternative, thank goodness, because I'm in media, I did watch the spectacle that was the halftime show. I'm Puerto Rican, and I said, I'm Puerto Rican, and I do not approve of the message that was sent. If a Spanish-speaking person could translate, I couldn't actually translate right now because I would be booted off our channels because that's how profane the language was. And this is what we have to deal with as consumers. It's like, we're going to do this and you're just going to have to take it, right? Like, we provide this service and we're going to put money into musicians and artists and causes that you absolutely do not believe in. And Patriot Mobile is providing something different. It's an alternative. Like, you can have the service, you can have the cell phone, but you don't have to buy the woke craziness.
Yeah, it's quite a shame actually that a once great institution like the National Football League has decided to go woke, along with many other companies. Look, I mean, the left has used now, unfortunately, music and entertainment to weaponize for their agenda, and they're forcing that upon our children every day, and it really is, quite frankly, disgusting. And when you look at some of this Bugs Bunny or Bad Bunny, whatever you want to call him. It's a shame that our kids and our American people have to be subject to that. But you mentioned a very key point here, right? I mean, whether we like it or not, we're being forced to consider a parallel economy, or I like to call it a red economy, giving people a choice. For every dollar they earn, they should have a choice, right? Are they going to support companies that believe in the things that they believe in? Are they going to support companies that are trying to take away our freedoms? And that's why Patriot Mobile started, was to give people an alternative in the cell phone service space. And look, we've been on the front lines fighting for freedom long before woke was even a thing. 13 years now we've been doing this. And look, we have a group of passionate customers that want nothing more than the American roots, the genesis of the American Constitution to be defended and protected. And that's what we're going to do.
What made you decide to be a part of Patriot Mobile? You had a lot of other options. What made you say, I really want to be a part of this company?
Well, personally, I actually was in some quiet time with the Lord one morning, and I had been looking around. This was right during the pandemic. I was looking around at our country, and I don't know if I had been too busy like working or raising my family, but I didn't realize the true depths to which our country had fallen. And as I was looking around with all the mandates and the vaccines and everything else, I was in quiet time with the Lord, and I said, God, I don't know what's going on, but can you please just come fix this? And he told me very clearly, I'll never forget it. He said, I'll take care of my part, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And so really at that point, I was forced to say, hey, what else can I do besides pray and, do whatever I can do? Things like switching up my cell phone over to a Patriot Mobile is just one small thing I can do. It's not an incremental ask. It's just switching something over that I'm already using. It's a commodity. It's cell phone service. That's just one easy way every American that believes that freedom is worth fighting for can get in the fight.
Well, I thank you for that. And my dad is a retired Marine who re-enlisted after 9/11. He did 3 tours.
Wow.
What does Patriot Mobile do for our veterans, for our heroes?
Well, first of all, thank you to your father for his service. We owe it to him and every other veteran that has been out there on the front lines fighting for our freedoms. We owe it to them to do everything we can to honor and serve them. And that's what we're called to do at Patriot Mobile, is to honor and serve our military and our first responders. And we do that by giving a portion of every dollar we earn back to organizations that are supporting our military, first responders, and fighting for our freedoms. Organizations like Folds of Honor and Soldier Strong and Warrior Rising and many others. These are organizations that have our veterans back, and they're out there actually fighting for the rights and to serve our veterans. And that's really, we want to support companies like that.
I think that's great. And I love the idea that I have a cell service and the profits are going towards things that I find value in, that I believe in, and that are like doing real good work. Because so often we find that the profits made off the things that we purchase and that we need, they're going to the exact opposite. They're going to things that we don't want to support, and so we're kind of funding. It's like with the schools, where our kids are indoctrinated to become Marxists and we're paying for it. So that just makes it even worse. And we want choices, I think. And you're in Texas. Texas is becoming a state with school choice. Lots of options. It's just a great state of Texas. So how do you get involved in causes like school boards, things to do with education?
I love when I get asked this question because this is very near and dear to our hearts. The grassroots efforts in our country are something that we're very, very involved in. In fact, we're headquartered right here in Grapevine, Texas, which is right in the middle of Tarrant County. Tarrant County just happens to be the largest remaining red county in America. It's larger than 15 states. If we lose Tarrant County, we lose Texas. If we lose Texas, we may well never have another Republican president. That is the truth. So what we try to do is right here in Tarrant County in our backyard, we formed a PAC, and we have actually gone and backed many, many school board candidates that are conservative, that are godly, that love the Lord, that believe in conservative leadership in school boards. And we've done very, very well in those races. And that's what we're going to continue to do. More than that, not just financially supporting those candidates, but just being vocal, telling people, hey, this is important. Look, we've got an administration and a president that are up there right now fighting really hard to clean up the mess that the left has left us with. This is not a good time to sit one out. This isn't time to be on the fence with our conservatism. We need to be all in. And that means your school board races, your municipalities, your state, and your local elections, all in. We have to be all in if we want to save our country.
Yes, November is coming. It's coming. There's going to be school board election, midterm elections, and this is a very critical time, because what could happen if I know right now they're saying blue wave, all of that stuff, which I don't buy. But if we aren't involved and if we don't really support what's happening right now in DC, we're going to lose it. I mean, we saw what happened last time when the Democrats had control of Congress. They're just going to spend all of their energy on taking out Trump.
Yeah, and that's what I love about Moms for Liberty and organizations like you guys, because you understand it starts with the moms. It starts with families, right? You and I know that if people would just vote, I mean, this goes with families and even evangelicals, the evangelical vote. If people will vote, I'm fairly sure they're going to vote on their conservative values. If they're believe in faith, family, and freedom like you and I do, So the key thing is let's get them to vote. And if I can introduce things that are happening in their local communities, at their schools, and that are happening to their children, the indoctrination of the children, the exposing of their children to the pornographic books and all this other craziness that's going on, if I can get them to wake up to what is really going on in the schools, we have a really good shot at getting those people out to vote. And I know that those people are going to vote on their conservative values. That's really what we need to be focused on leading up to these midterms, is just getting people out to vote.
I am so happy to hear of a large company like yours that cares about school board elections, because lots of times those elections get overlooked and they are so important. When you see these ICE protests, when you see kids radicalized, well, where do you think it starts? It starts in the classroom, because that's what a decision that was made. We can't wait. We can't wait to indoctrinate them in college. We need to get to them early. And so they're trying to undermine parents, even in big red counties. Like, they will do their best to undermine all of the hard work that you do, the values that you uphold, the community that you create for your children. They're trying to bombard them with so much. So I thank you so much for being involved in these school board races that too many overlook.
Exactly. And thank you for that. And look, we know the nature of what's going on in the schools. Absent of a godly alternative, the kids are going to gravitate towards whatever else is there. So at Patriot Mobile, some of the other things we're doing is trying to get the word of God back into the schools where it belongs, right? And things like, the 10 Commandment posters, we've actually sponsored in several different states. There's a bill that was passed that now they have to prominently display the 10 Commandments in every school district in 4 different states that we're working with. That's important to us. Also, we're sponsoring and we support a organization called LifeWise Academy. LifeWise Academy has built a release program in public schools. They're in 13 or 14 states now. Incredible organization that is all about bringing the gospel back to school children. And that you hit the nail on the head. That's how the tide is going to change, and that we're going to start seeing some real change in our country. It starts with our kids.
And as you know, a big struggle for parents is the cell phone devices in the hands of our children and trying to control that. Do you offer tools for parents so that to help them monitor their kids and make sure that they're not getting into things?
Absolutely. Yeah. And Scarlett, that is so important, right? I mean, we know the dangers of the internet and unfettered access to the internet that comes through cell phones. And so we do offer options for parents that want their kids to experience having a phone, even a nice looking smartphone, not an old flip phone. We don't want them to be uncool at school, right? So we have a phone called the Wise Phone, and it's a brilliant device, and it actually looks like a smartphone, and it has removed all of the apps and the dangerous things to our kids off the phone, but it still allows them to have a full smartphone experience, and it allows the parents to still have the tracking and monitoring devices on the device that they can know where their kids are and if they're in trouble, and alerts and things like that. So it's called the Wise Phone, and you can get that at patriotmobile.com on our website.
I love that, because you hit the nail on the head. Like, your kid I have an 8th grader, and I want her to be able to call me, and I want to be able to kind of track, but I don't want her to have the TikTok. I don't want her to have Snapchat. So that's an alternative. And to her friends, she doesn't look so uncool, because that flip phone, that's a punishment. That's
Yes.
cool for them. So that's amazing. That's amazing. And that's something I'll be looking into, because studies are showing the longer you can wait giving your kid a phone, and only because the access to those kinds of apps, the better. So that if you could give your child a phone so that they could have it for all those necessary purposes, but then they don't have, they're not walking around with basically instant access to the internet everywhere and apps. That's a really great alternative for parents.
Absolutely. And look, I mean, we have other things that we can do with technology that we offer at Patriot Mobile. And one of those is our Patriot Mobile One product. And what that allows somebody to do is you can have 2 separate lines on 2 different networks on a single smartphone. And why is that important? Well, you hear it in the news all the time. The cell phone networks do go down from time to time. Or if you travel about or you live in a rural area, sometimes your towers just don't work in some areas on certain networks. Well, because we have all three of the main networks, I can put, again, two separate numbers on two different networks on a single smartphone. So as your teenage son or daughter is driving around, and let's say they lose connectivity to one set of towers, it's going to automatically pick up on another set of towers, and they're not going to lose the use of their cell phone or the use of their navigation device. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want my wife or my teenage son out and about without use of their cell phone. So we offer some things that make us even more unique.
Oh, I'm signing up for that because it happens to me. Sometimes I'm in Wisconsin or I'm driving. I'm around a lot more. Suddenly I lose cell service and I'm navigating and my husband gets a frantic call. I don't know where I'm going. My cell phone doesn't work. It literally just happened recently. There's certain areas you can get in and you lose the signal and you don't know where you're going and you're relying on that navigation. Suddenly, where am I? How do I get out of here? So that's really great. I love it.
And, Scarlett, the best thing about it too, it's so easy to switch to Patriot Mobile. A lot of our customers, we ask them, we're saying, hey, why haven't you switched yet? Or our potential customers, they say, we love your mission, but you know what? It's my cell phone. It's got to work and this and that. And really what I say is they've got what I call FOSO. It's called fear of switching over. They've got FOSO, and FOSO comes from the last time that they tried to switch their cell phone, maybe 10, 15 years ago. They walked into an AT&T or a Verizon retail store. They handed their phone to a teenager and they walked out 3 hours later and they wanted to slam their head in the car door because it was so painful. And they said, I'll never do it again. Well, Patriot Mobile, it takes about 15 minutes. You can do it from your own home sitting on the couch. It's easy. We don't have retail stores for a reason, because it keeps our costs low and it just makes it easier for our customers to switch over on their terms.
That's great, because that you're describing an exact scenario that you go in and you're just frustrated. And then even when you leave, it's not working. Something's not connecting, something's wrong, you have to go fix it. And so people just stick with it because it's just too hard. Can you keep your same number?
Absolutely. You can keep your number, you can keep your phone. A lot of our customers, 80% of our customers just keep their phone and switch over. You can keep your number. Or if you're ready for an upgrade, we offer all the latest, greatest Apple and Android phone devices as well. And switching is so easy now. We have a thing called eSIM. eSIM allows us to send you a QR code. You zap the QR code with the camera on your smartphone. It automatically loads the SIM into your phone and you're active on Patriot Mobile. I mean, how easy is that?
Great. That's really easy. That's really easy. And you're always offering special, like there's discounts, there's something, especially with Moms for Liberty. And I love your ads. I know what you always have military, and it kind of gives me goosebumps when I just look at the kind of ads that you put out. They're so patriotic, and I don't know, it makes me feel good.
Well, that's certainly good to hear as the marketing guy. I love to hear that feedback, because really what we're trying to do is demonstrate through a short commercial, and I'm sure a lot of your viewers have seen us on Fox News and others, but in a 30 or 60-second commercial, I'm trying to make an emotional connection with what we do and why we do it, right? And the military, our first responders, that's part of it, but also pro-life. I mean, saving babies. This is what we do. Our protection of our First and Second Amendment rights, so important, right? So I want to convey through our advertising the importance of these things to Patriot Mobile and why it's so important that we fight for these things and how easy it is to switch. And when you switch, that you too can join the movement of the tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of other customers that are right along beside us fighting for freedom with every call and text they make.
Do you think there's going to be more companies like yours that they're going to say, like, we're done with the woke, like we are going to advertise to the half of the country that lives by traditional values, that wants to see the things that they buy, the things that they use, that they don't want to see those profits going into causes that they just don't agree with? Do you think more will join like yours?
Well, I certainly hope so because look, one of our main goals is we want to try to be a model for other companies to show what it looks like to put God first in your business. We're just his stewards. We put God first and we leave it up to him and he guides our steps, he guides our actions. And we hope other companies will look and see the how God has blessed Patriot Mobile in so many ways. Our growth has been staggering. I mean, it's crazy. In fact, the we actually started the company. Our tagline was mobilizing conservatives, Patriot Mobile mobilizing conservatives. Well, about 6 years ago, as a company, our board decided, like, let's put it out there. We're living Christian lives. We're Christians. We love the Lord. Let's change our tagline to America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. Well, since that time, our business has grown 12x. I mean, God has just blessed us in so many ways. So we're hoping other companies will see that and put it out there. Wear it on your sleeve. Be unapologetic. Be loud. Be proud of who we are.
Yeah, that goes against the common wisdom, keep it silent, be quiet, don't let anyone know. And I have told people in Moms for Liberty, we're like, the age of the super secret conservative is over. The only way you're going to win is by standing up. There is no backdoor to the Alamo, right? Like, you've got to fight. The only way out is through. And if we're going to win this, we're not going to win it by hiding. We're going to win it by standing up and fighting for what we believe in.
Hey, that's very well said, Scarlett. In fact, I like to say it like this too. It's like, this is not really a good time for us to be on the fence with our conservatism, right? I mean, we know the fence belongs to the enemy. We need to be all in or all out. And if we're going to be all in and win this thing and get our country back to where it needs to be, we've all have to be all in. And it doesn't matter if it's where you buy your coffee or who you bank with or even who you choose to be your cell phone service provider. All of that now matters. Every dollar you spend actually matters. So we need to be speaking through our wallets and who we decide to support with our dollars, as well as at the polls at the election on election day. That's what we have to do. We have no choice.
Now, to end, it's America's 250th birthday. There's going to be so much going on. So Moms for Liberty, we are partnering with Mercury One, Glenn Beck, and the Freedom 250 initiative and the Sea to Shining Sea initiative, which is pretty cool. So what do you have planned for 250? I'm sure it's pretty great.
Well, I'll tell you, it's hard to beat being on Ellis Island and on the USS Midway. So you guys have definitely set the bar very high. And in fact, when I ran into Tina and she told us about y'all's plans, Glenn and I looked at each other like, we have to be involved with this. I mean, what better place than Ellis Island and on the decks of the USS Midway to celebrate our 250th birthday? Wow, we want to be a part of that. But we're also going to be in DC around the 4th of July and all that great celebration that's going to go on. But the biggest thing we want to emphasize is most of our cause partners are doing something special this year. And we're definitely going to play a big part of that. But the biggest thing we can do is to continue to support those causes and to support their mission and let it be an opportunity to amplify their message on all the good things they're doing to defend our freedom. And we're going to use this as an opportunity to double down, and we want to give even more money. We gave away about $3.5 million last year. We want to give even more money this year. And the more customers we sign up, the more money we give. That's how it works. So we want every single person out there that believes freedom is worth fighting for to be a Patriot Mobile customer.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, you sold me, that's for sure. And we always appreciate all that you do for us with Moms for Liberty and the support that you provide, not only in Texas, which we have very strong chapters and leadership in Texas that are doing such good work, but throughout the country, because fighting for parental rights, fighting for our children, this is the hill I'm willing to die on. And frankly, I say to people, if this isn't your hill to die on, I don't think you have a hill, because what is more important than the hearts and minds of our children, protecting our girls from what's happening every day? There's just some horrible story about a girl forced to play against a boy, wrestle and get assaulted against a boy, share a bathroom with a boy. dads, we got to stand up. Moms, we got to stand up. And I love that you contribute to the organizations and the causes and the races that help us to fight back.
Well, thank you, Scarlett. We are going to be behind you guys 110% because we know you guys are effective in what you do. We want to support causes that are out there making the biggest difference with the dollars that we contribute. And you guys have proven every single time that you are great stewards. You believe our values are very much aligned. We believe in the Lord, and the Lord is going to guide us to whatever's next. And we're looking forward to the next chapter with Moms for Liberty.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We're going to put up some graphics and your most latest commercial, all of that. But I really appreciate you. I appreciate all that you're doing, and I appreciate what you stand for. In this world, I think to stand up for Christ, to stand up for traditional values, and to do so proudly is an amazing thing. So thank you for your courage to do that.
Well, thank you, Scarlett, and thank you for the opportunity to come on and share a little bit about Patriot Mobile. And God bless you guys. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Scott, I appreciate that he understands that protecting families in this digital age, it's not just optional, it's essential. So thanks. Thank you so much. We so appreciate Patriot Mobile and all that they do. So much good work. And, I really appreciate, I'm sure do many parents, that they don't just talk the talk, they walk the walk. And on top of it, I was surprised and really grateful to learn that they provide smartphones for children that look like everyone else's phones, so kids can save face. I know there's a lot of pressure on parents to get their kids' devices, especially as they enter upper middle school and high school. They've got practices. You want them to be able to call you. You want them to be able to call you in an emergency. However, you're nervous about giving them this device, which opens their whole world up to so many different apps. And as we're watching like that trial in Los Angeles, it's scary. It's scary for a parent to realize how influential these devices and these apps are in the life of your children, particularly when they are being designed to be addictive. And as kids kind of go down the rabbit hole, it can lead to some very, very dangerous and scary places. So to kind of stay on this topic, I thought this is a good time for us to discuss something brand new, something that we're doing in Moms for Liberty that I think we're ahead of the curve by talking about these topics and by providing parents and school boards and legislators some tools that they can use as we grapple with AI. I mean, blows your mind how fast technology is moving. And if technology is moving this fast, then parents have got to move faster. And that can be hard when they understand technology better than we do, which is often the case. Shift in technology in our children's lives is happening in the classrooms. So what do I mean by that? It's embedded in the K through 12 education. It's in the grading tools. It's in predictive software. In some cases, it's even being used to assess behavior and emotional patterns. We've been aware of surveys and talking about this for a long time, but this is something that just is even deeper than that. This isn't 5 years away. It's not 1 year away. It's here. And so we need the tools to figure out how to deal with all of this. So quickly, I'm going to break down what we have to offer. And this is all brand new. Right down at the corner, you can see this is the where you would go to find all the materials I'm about to show you. All you have to do is go to this web address, and then you're going to see this linked in the comments. And this is where you can find everything I'm about to show you. It's all available to you absolutely free. And I think it's going to be really useful for many parents. So you can see this is our AI education initiative, a national effort to put real guardrails around artificial intelligence in K through 12 schools. As you know, or maybe you don't know, the Moms for Liberty CEO, Tina Descovich, is part of the First Lady's White House Task Force on AI education. And we signed the AI education pledge. But we didn't just sign a piece of paper. We built tools. We built tools for you to use: model legislation, school board policies, parental rights pledges. So let's take a look at some of what we have to offer here. And we've got a little YouTube video right here that you can watch. And here you can see Tina. She is at the First Lady's White House Task Force on AI and Education. And here you can sign the pledge, sign the Safety in AI Education pledge. You can sign that as soon as you go to the website. So here you could see we have state legislature model policy. Click right here. And there you go. Definitions. Already we have members and leaders in Moms for Liberty sending these to school board members and to their legislators, and they're getting a response pretty quickly. You can see we have a model school board policy. And here a proclamation. And then to learn more about AI in education, lots of resources here. You could see we have an EdTech toolkit, legislation tracker, digital policy alert. We have policy insight, why tech policy matters now. We have our press releases here, but real quick, just to give you an example. There's a lot for you to look over, as you know, and a lot to learn about all of this. So I think this is amazing. This is an amazing resource, and it could not be more timely. Again, you just go to the website right here to access these tools, all free of charge. We need boundaries to protect students. In this technological world where we as parents, our kids know more than we do most of the time. So we've got to catch up, and we've got to get ahead of this. And we don't want to wait until the damage has been inflicted and then, then have to go and backtrack and figure out, how do we fix this? We've already been through that. We've seen it with COVID. We've seen it with DEI. We've seen it with woke education. So let's get ahead of this. Let's get ahead of the curve. That's where we need to be. We need to be sure that AI isn't replacing teachers. We as parents have to be careful how we use AI, and we need to be able to monitor our kids and their use of AI. And these are all, we're navigating some murky waters. So please stay tuned, because we have a lot more coming your way. In fact, we're going to start, we've already have some great videos on YouTube where we talk to leading experts, teachers, those who worked in the tech industry, those who currently do work in the tech industry. And so we're not just sounding the alarm, we are providing solutions. We want to make sure that no algorithm is profiling your child's beliefs, emotions, or values, and that technology is serving families, because we don't want children to be raised by algorithms. They need to be raised by parents. And again, in this toolkit, you have a lot of the things that you need to get started. Model legislation that you can share, school board policy templates, parental rights pledges, student data protections. And then you saw that on our website right here, you can learn a lot more. It's A lot of work has been put into this effort, and you'll see that these tools are going to be very useful to you. So who will control AI in schools? Let's make sure that it's the parents and that teachers and administrators fully understand what's happening and that they have the tools that they need so that they can protect kids as well. This is a complicated issue, and there's not going to be simple solutions, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't start getting ahead of this issue. So I am very grateful that our team who has worked tirelessly on this. I'm very grateful for all of their work, and I think that all of you watching will find a lot of use for this. And I highly recommend that you go to our website right here and check it out. And you can always, got to make sure that we make sure that you can join Moms for Liberty at momsforliberty.org. You can follow Moms for Liberty at moms4liberty, and that handle is the same on YouTube. Follow us on YouTube, where a lot of videos about this and much, much more are available to you. So thank you all for watching, and I hope that you all get the chance to, let me once again put this up. You get a chance to go on the website and explore all that we have to offer at m4lacademy.org/AI. So thank you very much, and be back soon. Have a great day.
Parents, you must always hold the keys to the AI toolbox. AI is already in classrooms across the country. Millions of teachers are using AI in various ways. They use it to grade papers and to streamline their workload. They use it to create individual learning plans for students. And students are already using AI too. They're using it for research in the classroom, and some are using it to create new technology and use it in innovative ways to advance their learning. It's really exciting to see what's happening. Truly, there's also a downside to having AI in the classroom without any guardrails. We hear stories in the news already across the country, and parents are testifying that this is happening.
Parents who say character AI is also pushing dangerous content to kids, and at times acting like a digital predator.
These companies knew exactly what they were doing. They designed chatbots to blur the lines between human and machine.
1 in 5 high school students reported that they or someone they know has had a romantic relationship with AI.
Researchers found the bear openly discussed sexually explicit and dangerous content with kids.
The other problem that we're seeing with AI is it's not always true.
Sometimes AI can tell you what you want to hear, not necessarily what is true.
It's not helpful when students just use it to directly cheat.
Parents have to understand the algorithms that are basically set up to direct our children to look at certain things, feel certain things, and believe certain things. That's the role of a parent, not an algorithm.
We are living in a moment of wonder, and it is our responsibility to prepare children in America.
Moms for Liberty is leading the charge on unifying, educating, and empowering parents to understand AI and how it's impacting our children. We're already doing this by joining the AI and Education Task Force under the leadership of First Lady Melania Trump. I've personally attended 2 meetings at the White House on this. I've spoken to members of the cabinet about the guardrails that need to be put in place to protect our children. Because we understand the importance of empowering you to protect all children, we've created model policy that you can download and take directly to your school board and ask them to adopt. We've created school board speeches that you can change and modify for yourself and use to speak to your school board in a public forum. We've created draft policy for the state level that you can go meet with your state legislators and ask them to sponsor the bill and start moving it through the process so that all the children in your state will be protected.